My personal rig here is by far the best performing and best looking gaming PC in my entire studio. However, today I have $1,000 worth of parts, including some custom ones that we're going to be upgrading it with. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome to Zach's Tech Turf. Today we're going to be refreshing my now 1 to 2 year old gaming PC, and we got a lot of parts over here thanks to a ton of very nice companies. And if you're new here and you want to see other PC building videos just like this one, then hit that subscribe button down below and also that notification bell. That way you never miss an episode. But yeah, please, let's get into it. So first and foremost, let's start with what's currently in my gaming PC here in late 2019. Then we'll talk about the $1,000 worth of parts that I'm going to be upgrading it with, and then we'll get into actually performing the upgrades. I did make a dedicated video about this gaming PC already, so make sure you check that video out in the upper right hand corner for that. But let's start rattling off some of these specs. Starting with the performance base and most important parts, the CPU that I'm rocking is an i7 8700K 6-core and 12-threaded CPU, and I just haven't convinced myself that I need to upgrade this anytime soon. The motherboard is an ASRock Z370 Extreme 4. There's only 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance RGB RAM, which is actually kind of embarrassing. And finally, this behemoth of a graphics card is the MSI Duke RTX 2080 Ti that I bought on launch day. This system is obviously plenty powerful enough, especially here in 2019. But yeah, the 16 gigabytes part is actually kind of embarrassing. 16 gigabytes is plenty for a lot of people, but I play games, edit videos, run my Twitch live streams, and pretty much run my entire business from this computer, so yeah, I desperately need to upgrade that. Moving on past the performance lineup, here's the rest of the parts list, as I don't want to run through these one by one because that would honestly just take forever, and I'm a dad now, so my time is kind of limited. Sorry. Anyways, yeah, this is what my current PC is looking like, and just as a quick disclaimer, I'm very well aware that I don't need to upgrade this PC at all, and it's still a very baller gaming PC right now. All of these parts that we're about to talk about, including the custom ones, were sent to me for free, so I didn't have to spend $1 for these upgrades, and huge thanks again to all of these nice companies. Finally, getting into these upgrades, I absolutely have to start with the custom parts that I keep mentioning, and a huge shout out to V1 Tech for sending these over. First up, we have the custom backplate for my RTX 2080 Ti, and oh my goodness, I can't wait to see what this looks like on my system. At the time of recording this part of the video, I'm not exactly sure how this thing is going to pan out, but hopefully I'll figure it out. V1 Tech also sent over a similar custom SSD drive cover, and I'm really hoping that this installation goes smoothly as well, because both of these parts are about as baller as it gets. Moving on to some NZXT parts, huge thanks again for sending these over. First, we're going to start with the case, and this is the H710i, which is a massive $200 case, and I think it's a pretty worthy successor to my current NZXT S340 Elite. Also from NZXT is their N7 Z390 motherboard, and I think that most of us can agree that this is one of the best looking motherboards on the market right now. I kind of feel silly for not upgrading to a 9th gen 9900K, but my 8700K will do just fine in here at the end of the day. NZXT also sent over some simple RGB case fans, one 120mm and two 140mm AER RGBs. And finally, the last part that will actually affect the performance of the build, and honestly the most important piece of this project, is the Corsair Dominator Platinum RGB 32GB DDR4 RAM kit. Big thanks to Corsair for sending this one over in a pinch, and I'm really looking forward to visually seeing the performance upgrade from 16GB to 32GB when multitasking. With all that out of the way, it's now time to actually upgrade this PC, and at the time of recording, I have no idea how this is going to pan out, but I'm going to have my wife help with recording the B-roll, and then I'm going to send it over to my editor to chop up a sick montage, so let's see what they can do. So here you have it. This is what the final build is looking like, and I'm honestly surprised at how smoothly everything went. Granted, that build montage that you just watched spanned over literally like 5 days because we just had a baby and I can only work in like 30-minute intervals, but yeah, I think it turned out great. One thing that really surprised me with this upgrade process was just how dusty my old build got. You didn't see many dusting clips in the montage because I didn't want to waste time recording them, but yeah, I had to spend a ton of time cleaning these parts off before putting them in the new case. Speaking of which, I'm really happy with the NZXT H710i. First of all, it just looks baller, but it also has an integrated Hue 2-like system, so all of the RGB fans and built-in RGB strip sync up perfectly using the cam software, and I didn't have to find a place specifically for my Hue 2 system like I had in my last build. The one thing I don't really like about it is that the PSU shroud is kind of cut off. If you look at the build from this angle, you can see where I hid my mess of cables, and I wish that this entire section was covered. The V1 custom SSD cover and GPU backplate also turned out to be super easy to install, and I'm really happy with these products as well. You can control their colors from this remote right here because they're just plugged in via SATA, and I'm really debating about this all red color or this white color because it kind of shows the red here, but I don't know, I think they both look great. These covers were just installed with double-sided stick tape and magnets so I can easily remove them, and I'm honestly really excited to use V1 tech again for some upcoming custom projects. Finally, the last thing worth mentioning with this upgrade is the new N7 Z390 NZXT motherboard. It has really good integration with NZXT's CAM software, and I'm really digging the interface. It has a ton of ports that I can use to expand my system with, such as another M.2 slot, and for some reason a ton of RGB ports, and finally, it's obviously one of the best looking motherboards on the market, and it just helps the entire build look super clean. Overall, I would definitely say that my personal build upgrade was a huge success, and I'm super happy with how this turned out. The only thing that I'm not super excited about is that the colors of this build actually look way better in person than on video. You can kind of tell with this still photo right here, but yeah, the camera just isn't doing this build justice in my opinion. Well, that's gonna wrap up my personal rig upgrade project here in late 2019. As always, drop a comment down below about what you thought of this upgrade or what you would personally do to change it. After that, feel free to head on over to one of these two videos if you haven't seen them yet, and definitely hit that subscribe button because coming up next, we're probably benchmarking another new game. You don't want to miss that video.